Welcome back to the listening. I listened to a whole bunch of Baby Keem. I started off with the Melodic Blue. Let's like load up the Melodic Blue Spotify page so we can talk about the album with a bit more clarity and oh, I'm not even recording the screen. Fuck! I forgot to hit the screen record. Oh no. That intro is gonna have a black screen. It's gonna have a black screen with no screen. Jesus, that's an embarrassment for me. I'm ashamed of that. But we're gonna just move past that. We're just gonna pretend that never happened. Just pretend like Men in Black. That never happened. Hi guys, welcome to listening. Here we are listening to Melodic Blue. I listened to the Melodic Blue. Actually, I started listening to it the night before, like Thursday on the cusp of midnight, and as we trickled into Friday, I was still playing the Melodic Blue because Casino. Baby Keem's Casino did not drop on midnight in the UK. It came out at midnight, I think Eastern time in America, and it hit the UK at like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or something. So I was just like, before it drops, let me just refamiliarize myself with the Melodic Blue, and unfortunately, this album really did grow off me on a revisit. My reaction video is up on the channel, and I do have a good time in that video. It was a really fun first reaction, and I would say in general, in 2021, when it came out in September, I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it a 7 out of 10. I bumped it down to a 5 because this thing, just as an album, cohesively, it is an absolute mess. It's called the Melodic Blue. It kind of suggests like a certain mood or a certain concept, but I don't really think it sticks to anything too concretely. It seems pretty comfortable just flailing around with different production styles like South Africa issues, Scars, Range Brothers, like the Kendrick influence, the Kanye influence. You can sort of tell the certain areas he's pulling from. I don't really think it ever quite forms its own identity. However, there are some undeniably really strong tracks here. I think Range Brothers is loads of fun. Fantastic track. Trademark USA as well. Really great performance from Baby Keem on that song. These are tracks that I think have quite a lot of personality. Coco and Don Toliver is actually like a lot of fun. I feel like that song no one really gives a fuck about that song. A lot of these tracks I forgot about entirely, like what they sounded like. And I remembered the names, like I remembered Gorgeous, Issues, Lost Souls, Scars. I remembered enjoying these tracks just off of name, but on a revisit, these songs did nothing for me. I felt like I could just see through what Baby Keem was trying to do way too transparently, way too easily, and that was just a barrier for me to really feel the songs. And there's a lot of tracks here that are just extremely dull, boring. South Africa, Pink Panties, Issues, Boomer, First Order of Business, Do Rag Activity. I don't know why I played that song so much when it came out. I remember I had that song on repeat when it first released as a single. I don't know what I was doing. What was I getting out of that? It's like a total nothing burger of a song. Last two tracks, it does pick up. Vent's got a lovely amount of energy to it. And 16 comfortably is my favorite song on this record. I think it's actually one of the more popular ones. So according to the streaming numbers, and yeah, this is like a really lovely pop song. I love the urgency and the content. Won't you think about you? And I feel like Baby Keem meets the drama, and the instrumental was really, really nice, tantalizing. Chords are lovely, moody, has like a sadness to it. It's really melancholic. I love Baby Keem when he's on his like melodic pop shit. So that was my experience coming back to Melodic Blue. Casino. Listened to it 4 times back to back on Friday when I woke up the following morning and it was out. It was on my phone. I also listened to it again on the Saturday and again on the Sunday. And on Sunday, I recorded with my friend Daniel episode 1 of Drum Roll CD Smile Talk, a whole new podcast that I have launched with my friend Daniel. I uploaded the video to the Spotify thing. Soon you'll be able to watch the video on Spotify if you want to, but you can listen to the podcast just as an audio thing. You've got timestamps right here. And yeah, for over an hour, for about an hour, 20 minutes, we discuss Baby Keem's Casino. So if you want to hear my thoughts on Casino, may I kindly redirect you to this podcast where I talk at length about everything I felt alongside my good friend Daniel, who's got a wonderful speaking voice. By the way, buttery smooth, crispy voice. This guy's built for the podcast life, let me tell you, bro. When I listened back to the show, I was like, dude, your voice is like way less roomy and echoey. Shout out to Daniel. Shout out to you, my boy. Anyway, CD Smile Talk, episode 1. We're going to try and do this every other week. And when we do get together and record, we're just going to be talking about whatever is currently the most like relevant thing in music or films. And if we're playing any games, we'll talk about that too. It's just sort of a little place for us to just geek out. As you can see here, we talk about From Software, Bugenics. Resident Evil 9 is currently downloading on my PlayStation as I'm recording this. I'm losing my shit with excitement. Friday, we're not done with Friday. On Friday, I went to go see the film Waste Man, which we also talk about, as you can see here in the freaking thing. And Waste Man has quite a nice soundtrack. The OST includes tracks from both of these albums. In the credits, we get Geronimo by Young Fathers, which, oh my god, that song is fucking amazing. I forgot all about that song. Young Fathers, man, I don't think about them enough, man. They're actually, like, incredible. And then, yeah, Jamie XX in Color, one of my favorite albums of all time. I'm very familiar with that record. Gosh is used in the film Waste Man, and it felt like I was hearing it for the first time again. It felt like it was a whole new experience. It felt like this was the destiny that this song was supposed to have from the beginning or something. It was an incredible needle drop. But Young Fathers Heavy Heavy is the one I'm going to be talking about in this video. I don't think I really need to go over In Color. I'm going to just assume I've got enough videos of me online talking about In Color. In Color is one of my favorite things ever. I love the album a lot. One of my 30, 40 odd 10 out of 10 albums. Careful to restrict the 10 out of 10s to my all-time favorites, as you would have heard if you watched this video. Jamie XX is in that list. Young Fathers, Heavy Heavy. Now this album is one I remember I struggled with it. When it came out, I struggled with it. I wanted to like it more than I did, and a lot of my friends were like, this is amazing, this is great. I think a lot of people do consider it the strongest Young Fathers album. For me, it was like handedly the weakest. There were like a few really good songs on it, like Geronimo. And yeah, as I walked out of the Waste Man screening and I heard Geronimo on my way out, I was like, yo, I think I'm at a place in my life where I can welcome in Heavy Heavy as a new favorite album. Maybe I can have a change of heart. I've been having a few change of hearts recently in my life. Destroyer's Kaput is an album I used to think was just alright, but now I think it's like the shit, dude. I always loved Bay of Pigs from that album. That was sort of the Geronimo of that album, I guess. And but yeah, that album eventually, the whole rest of the album, you know, really grew on me, and it's now one of my favorite albums. So yeah, I was like, let's see if Heavy Heavy has the same effect. And I was pretty instantly met with the reason I couldn't click with it on track 1. Right away, I was reminded of what my disconnect was, and that is every fucking song structurally is damn near identical, man. Except for maybe Shoot Me Down. But the detour they take on that song isn't anywhere near as fulfilling. This album, sound palette wise, musically wise, it sort of sounds like similar to what you're seeing on the cover art. Maybe like a group of people trying to summon a demon or something, like a ritual, and they're making like a song on the moment with whatever's around them. Has the sort of frantic in the moment thing. But that is the vibe for every song. And I think they just sort of rinse repeat this idea. The moment a song begins on this album, I am mapping out the feeling it's going to give me already. I'm never at any point when I hear Heavy Heavy curious about the material, and I think curiosity is one of the most powerful things art can instill within you, this sort of like trying to understand, this new perspective. I don't really feel much of that when I hear Heavy Heavy. I feel like it's extremely cut and dry what every song is trying to make me feel. I feel like they took In My View, that was sort of the big song from Cocoa Sugar, one of the best songs on this album, an incredible song. One of the best songs of 2018, to be honest. In My View is dope as fuck. I really feel like they saw the reception of that song and were like, let's just run that shit for 10 tracks. It just feels like 10 versions of the same idea to varying levels of interest. I feel like I'm constantly getting like a carrot dangled in front of me of this huge soundscape, like this big moment where I'm supposed to be feeling so euphoric, and I just feel like it's too transparent and explicit about trying to be that. I felt that way especially on drum, on a revisit. Production's really impressive, it sounds really good, but like I don't really feel like an attachment to any of this, and it's frustrating because I can tell like the musicianship and the skill and effort it would have taken to make these songs it's hard to deny, but yeah, it's just very deeply uninteresting to me, and it pains me. I think it's, yeah, a 5 out of 10. 2.5 was the score I gave it at the time, and that remains. And I think this is the highest rated Young Fathers thing. Fuck me, it is. Except for the 28 Years Later score. But as far as their studio material, White Men and Black Men 2 is close. Cocoa Sugar's a bit more oddball. There's not as much like meat on the bones, I suppose. I guess you could argue there is more meat on the bones with Heavy Heavy. It's a shorter album than Cocoa Sugar, but each song I guess is a more full meal. There's like interludes and sort of more brittle tracks in Cocoa Sugar. I could see why someone might find themselves feeling a little short-handed by it. Yeah, Heavy Heavy looks like it's the one that has absolutely landed the best with people. It's got 7,000 ratings. Way more ratings than any other. And yeah, the average is the highest on that one. Oh, Joey, my boy. Yeah, let's go. Amy as well. I know Amy has it at like a 4. I don't want to celebrate people not enjoying the music. You know, that's kind of lame. I just feel seen. I feel noticed. I feel validated when I see this. I'm like, yeah, you feel me, right? It's not just me, right? It's one of those albums that is good technically. That's how I felt on the revisit, and it's a shame. Then we come to Saturday. I listened to this album yet again. I talked about it on the last week's one. I gave it quite a few more listens, and yeah, it's pretty fascinating stuff. It kind of feels swampy. I described it as being stuck in a cave before, but particularly this track, Vita. It sounds like somebody getting comfortable in a swamp. Like they're in the swamp, and they eventually discover that they actually love this. Like this is where I want to be. This is where I'm supposed to be. There's a filthy dirtiness to this album that is executed with a weirdly pristine level of skill and meticulousness. Like, it's weird how carefully curated the dirt is on this album. It's interesting. As just a sonic palette and a soundscape, I'm finding myself really drawn to it. I did end up scoring it. I gave it 4 stars. I think I love this shit. I think it's really great. I will be definitely playing it more as the year goes on and just uncovering new fun little sound design tricks and details. There's just such a wide tapestry of ideas happening production-wise across this thing, and I'm really excited to check out more of Vladislav Delay. This is an artist I could definitely see myself getting a little bit lost in, and it's apparently a pretty huge discography. So yeah, that'll be fun. Casino Sunday was when we recorded the podcast. If you don't know what I think about that album, I'm not even going to give you a crumb of information from this video. I'm going to encourage you to listen to the podcast. Obviously, it's a lot of time. Podcasts are long. I think you'll find it'll be pretty worth it. Monday, we had quite an exciting, eclectic day. Brent Faiyaz Icon. I gave the new Brent Faiyaz record a go. I've kind of always written off Brent Faiyaz a little bit, mostly due to the fact that Wasteland, which was billed as like his big album, it had features from Tyler and Drake and Alicia Keys and blah blah. This was sort of like supposed to be his like magnum opus, like Wasteland, here we go. I heard it was fine. However, I do think I do find Brent's execution of this sound a bit more likable and a bit more zoned in and laser focused as some of his contemporaries, and that was particularly highlighted on this album because it is a little bit shorter, 33 minutes, 10 tracks, and I don't think it really missed a beat. It had a lot of wide, illustrious intros and sort of big instrumental moments. Like there was a lot to pay attention to and appreciate musically speaking. I think it was Other Side was the one. That one was kind of what we in the business call a certified Bopperino bangatron. Shit was fucking groovy, man. Like, are you hearing this? This hook popped off. Saw you in my dreams last night. Very strong sing-along R&B pop sort of jam. Oh, that shit was funky as hell, man. Like there was some good, playful, confident musical tapestry going on here. There's plenty of tracks I thought were kind of duds. Four Seasons had like a whole switch up in the second half that felt a little unearned. When it came on, it was like, finally we're getting somewhere. Just structurally found it a little dull. Butterflies, the plinky like keys on that one, again, just not a musical idea that excites me. There is kind of a narrow creative vision here that stops it from being like anything I can really get super excited about, but it's one of those albums that I look at and I'm like, you did your damn thing. Like, I can't really, like Brent Faiyaz fans should be damn happy with this. You know what I mean? Like the guys who are really waiting for this, like who really fuck with Brent Faiyaz, I'm assuming they're hearing this and they're like, here we go, baby. This is what's up. In the end, I landed on 3 stars, which is to say there might be a few songs I'll happily revisit. It's not an album I'm going to be thinking about too much going forward, but I am very glad I gave it a go and I do recommend it. After that, we have another Vladislav Delay album. We have the latest. I was like, let me see what he's making in the big 2026. This came out, well, it actually didn't come out on 12th of January. It came out on New Year's Eve, I believe, is what it said on Rate Your Music. And this one was way different. Way different. This thing was similarly to the other album, the Multilla. It's actually a compilation of 2 EPs, by the way, not an album. This is an album. Similarly to that, this is very much texture oriented, but the textures are coming from this like broken, cracked, more dry place. It was pretty engaging though. Like it was just engaging just to see what it would throw at me next. It was nowhere near as predictable. There were some tracks that structurally they were so formless. It was so hard to sort of latch onto the vision, but it was always very upfront and letting me know that vision was very intentional, very careful, and I was always interested in it. I'm definitely going to be coming back to this one again. Won't speak any more on it until I listen to it further. Aiko Ishibashi with Anti-Gone. This album's kind of the bee's knees, dude. I really love Aiko Ishibashi's composition work. I think she is seriously talented. She did the soundtrack for the last 2 Hamaguchi, how the fuck do you say his first name? Ryusuke Hamaguchi films, Evil Does Not Exist and Drive My Car. Both mighty good films, particularly love Evil Does Not Exist. Huge fan of this movie. My introduction to Aiko Ishibashi came in the form of the wonderful studio album from 2018, The Dream My Bones Dream. I had a lot of fun listening to this album while playing Sniper Elite 4. I have a memory of just having this shit on loop during a several hour long Sniper Elite 4 session. It was great. And there are some sweeping, massive crescendos, particularly in the back half. Mona Lisa, The Model. Trial is a huge favorite. I do have that one on my liked songs. It has this really jubilant horn passage at the end that just sounds so happy to be there. It just feels really happy to be a part of the crew. Aiko's voice is a little bit muted. I kind of wish it had a bit more presence throughout the album, but it is very humble, and there is a charm to it. Generally, it is the musicality here that really sweeps me off my feet, and it's a pretty tidy 8 tracks. It flows by really comfortably as a front to back listen. Normally an album where it's 8 songs and each track is like a big kind of multifaceted sprawling song. Albums like that have the tendency to feel quite long from my experience, but this is not the case for this album at all. You'll find yourself pretty quickly swept up in this thing. I've scored it a 3.5 out of 5, 7 out of 10. I think that will hold. I really, really like it. It might not be something I connect to as much as, say, The Dream My Bones Dream. I think I've had more emotionally fulfilling experiences with other Aiko Ishibashi works, but Antigone is still like an album I will gladly come back to, and I will think to come back to. Yeah, it's really good. Highly recommended. Lone got some listening time on Tuesday with the album Levitate, and Lone's catalog is pretty curious. He's moved through quite a few, extremely distinct phases, going from like synthy, vaporwave, glitch hop, hip hop type stuff in the early portion of his career with what's the album called? Not this one. Ecstasy and Friends, man. This thing is kind of like, glitch hoppy. And then it got a little bit more like drum and bass oriented and a bit more UK garage, colorful, and then there's a bit of future bass thrown in there. Like Galaxy Garden was the one for me. This was my introduction to Lone. But to me, this is like the ultimate package for what Lone is all about. Like the vibrancy and the color, just the personality of everything on display. Like this cover art, just this big undiscernible splash of color forming this weird fucking foliage is in space. Like Galaxy Garden, like it's a garden full of shit you've never seen before from a whole different galaxy. That's the type of vibe you immediately feel like you're getting sucked into on literally pick any song, any track off this album. Like you can see the vision so clearly, so quickly. But it was after this record I think things got a little muddy. Reality Testing, whilst not bad, it did have that one song from the fucking Ollie Ollie 2 soundtrack, bro. I remember this shit, bro. Nice little bop. Yeah, just fond memories of that one from Ollie Ollie 2. Welcome to Ollywood. That song makes an appearance on that indie skating video game. Good soundtrack on that game. This album, ultimately, it's a little bit more confused. It's not quite as well defined as a creative vision. You know, tracks like Air Glow Fires, the ones I just played, even just now hearing it, the drums are much quieter, softer, not as confident. The synths, they're catchy, they're fun, but they're not really pushing for anything too, striking or memorable. And then you have the hi-hats, like they're kind of jazzy. Like this album was sort of like it kind of felt like a transitional in-between album. I didn't really think it was as strong. And that then brings us to Levitate, which to me feels like a musical breakthrough. These songs, they are ambitious, they are fast-paced, they're excited, there's just more of a pulse to them. The individual tracks for me not quite as memorable as the tracks on Galaxy Garden, but the whole package it culminates into on this album, it's hard to not be satisfied by it. I mean, Triple Helix, listen to the way this track fucking begins. It feels like you just got like shuttled into a different world. You got that clap, which to me just tells me it's like we're about to kick into gear very soon. We're happy you're here and we're excited about it. Oh man, those synths, very Sam Geathertree coded. Viewfinder Volume 1 era Sam Geathertree. Yeah, bro, I really feel like the color came back on Levitate, man. Just looking at the Lone trajectory from what I'm able to kind of infer, just using the context clues of the albums. Maybe Lone has a whole different take on what each album kind of represents for him, but that's how these albums feel to me. And I think this thing is really strong. It was such a lovely listen coming back to it. I think I'm going to come back to it again. It might honestly be like really great. I think it's one I could see just continuing to grow on me the more I listen to it. Levitate by Lone is sitting comfortably at a 3.5. 3.40 average out of 1,000 ratings is nothing to sneeze at. Generally pretty positive scores if I just look through the ratings here. It's we're just chilling in that 3.5, 4-star, kind of range. And yeah, Galaxy Garden though, my goodness, my lordy lord, man. This album, I can't recommend this shit enough, bro. This is genuinely so excellent. I fucking love this record, bro. We then listened to the new Kneecap single, Smugglers and Scholars, $1 million. This shit is really good. I think it's great. It was actually introduced to me in a pretty amusing way. An old student of mine who I message from time to time. He hits me up like, dude, Kneecap are fucking finished, man. They suck now. This new song, just heard it, it's awful, bro. Oh, this album's gonna suck. Like, he's like miserable. Keep in mind, this is somebody I was at a Kneecap show with just a few months ago. This is like a Kneecap fan. Bro saw the movie like 400 times. So yeah, I'm thinking, damn, like they must have really shit the bed on this single. And then I hear it and I'm like, mate, what are we talking about? The beat, okay, gamers. I'm talking to the gamers. What game does this beat remind you of? What game does this beat remind you of? Just tell me. Right. I fucking love that lead synth riff so much. And if you said Hotline Miami, specifically Hotline Miami 2, wrong number, by the way, you were correct. Well done. This reminds me of Hotline Miami. It's not even like it would fit in the game necessarily, because the soundtrack for Hotline Miami is a lot more fast-paced, electronic focused, but this beat just has the vibe of Hotline Miami. It just... I love how menacing that synth feels. And the performances from Kneecap here, Mowgli Bap in particular, really came through. Dude, I feel like Mowgli Bap in the Kneecap discography so far, Mowgli Bap has had the hardest time connecting with the instrumental choices and really sort of showing his stuff compared to Mokara. I feel like Mokara often delivers the flashier flows, the more memorable performances, particularly on Fine Art, and I just think that the production style is more geared to his tone of voice. But this feels so perfectly equipped for Mowgli Bap's more like kind of dry, rougher sound. It sounds really cool, and the hook, at first I was like, this hook, maybe this is what my old student was talking about, the hook. I was like, I don't know if I like the hook. It is one of those hooks that, it doesn't take long before you're kind of smugglers and scholars when I'm really end up. It's pretty fun. Overall, I'm into this, and then to me, it does signal an interest in expanding what you might have thought Kneecap were stuck doing. I can't think of another Kneecap song that feels like this, so I'm excited to see what the Fenian album has in store. I might have a few surprises. That's what I'm getting from this, and I think this is a really, really cool song. Haven't actually heard Liar's Tale though. I need to hear that. On Wednesday, I checked out the new Courtney Barnett singles, Mantis and Sugar Plum, and I also gave a listen to Tim Hecker's Harmony of Ultraviolet, one of my favorite ambient albums of all time. The Courtney Barnett singles were really nice, particularly more fond of Mantis. I think she's got a record around the corner. She's an Australian singer-songwriter, and her voice is actually alarmingly similar to the Beth's lead singer on these new singles, which I guess like might come off like, because they both have like a similar accent, New Zealand, Australia. But no, like tonally and the personality and the humor, I was just getting a similar vibe to Mantis in particular. They're lovely. They're sounding quite sad. Musically, wouldn't call them very adventurous or daring, but they're very sweet. They're comfortable. Feels like a warm hug. There's like a nice like undercurrent of sadness. And Sugar Plum, a little bit slower, but still really nice. Has more of like a shoegazy kind of guitar tone, if I remember right. These were good. I'll be checking out this album when it comes out. But yeah, it was just nice to hear them. Nice to be reminded of Courtney Barnett, because it's not an artist I really think about too often. But I've got some nice memories listening to her debut album right here, and also the follow-up, Hopefulness. This song, excellent opening track right here. There are some really great tunes in her discography, and she's just generally a very likable musician to me. The Tim Hecker album is very much like a comfort listen for me. I mean, his whole discography kind of is. It feels like it's in the process of healing from something really tragic. It sounds really moody, really broken, but there's like a light. It feels like there's always like a shimmering light. Like there's like a synth or a pad or something that makes me think of a light coming down and just inspiring whoever it's, whoever's greeting it, whoever's listening in on it. Dungeoneering will forever be one of my favorite Tim Hecker tracks. That is a really beautiful song. On Thursday, we ran back the Melodic Blue again, and this was yesterday, so this was while I was editing the podcast, and while I was hearing myself and Daniel talk about the new album Casino. We obviously reference Melodic Blue, make comparisons, so I was in the moment like, yeah, you know what, I'm in the mood to hear that. Now that I've heard myself say it, like I'll hear it and it'll remind me of a part of the song that's quite catchy, and it'll be in my head. I'm like, I want to hear it now. So I did that, and I just listened to the whole album in the background while I was editing. Common Resurrection, when I was done with Melodic Blue, I was like, let me stick on like a good album. Let me stick on in the background an album I really like, a comfy album. And Common Resurrection came to mind. I'm not sure if it's because there have been 2 interpolations of I Used to Love Her, which is on this album. I never knew a love like this. You don't stop. Yes, y'all. You don't stop. Yeah, one of those rappers that's pretty instantaneously like a mood brightener for me. Like Common in his prime is one of the most likable MCs. Far from the best Common album in the world, B and like Water for Chocolate, they're right there. But at the same time, there's very little to dislike on this album. It's extremely likable. And the very last thing we're going to talk about is Underscores' new single, Tell Me You Want It. Oh, I will. I want it. I want your fucking album, Underscores. We got a release date. It's March 20th, which is my dad's birthday. I think he's got a lot of stuff coming out on his birthday. I don't think he realizes how blessed his birthday is. I'm more excited for my dad's birthday than he is, bro. bro. We're looking at a tidy 9 tracks. We've got 3 singles. This is the last single. We're not going to get any more singles. We're just going to have to wait for the rest of the album. I'm very excited to hear this whole thing, the whole project in its entirety, the complete vision, because these singles is 3 for 3. It's a clean 3 for 3. I was really into the new single. It was definitely different to the other two. They're all kind of existing in the same world, but they're giving you very different musical ideas, very different things to look forward to when you hit play on them. And for me, Tell Me You Want It has my favorite initial drop. When it first kicks in with the chorus, it is really nice. Love to hear the kind of bro step, dubstep sounds creeping up as well and fitting into this bubbly, glitchy, melodic pop framework that Underscores is working with on these new songs. These are the most like delectable pop songs Underscores has ever made. Because I feel like a lot of Wallsocket was concept driven, these like kind of bigger, multifaceted songs. We're getting a very zoned in, pop focused Underscores album. The melodies are insane, the whole album. The way the kick comes in, it stops and then comes in after it, that's so fucking fresh. You gotta. I said this before about Do It, but similarly to Do It, it just feels like every moment there is thought put towards like how can we make this shit just ear candy. Like every second, every moment there is something just tickly, just something nice happening on the ears. And yeah, I feel like we're gonna get a fucking banger of an album here, man. This is gonna be good as fuck. So that's what I've been listening to. Let's move on to the new announcements. Lamar, I heard you, bro. We're gonna talk about these new announcements. So Buke and Gase are gone. This makes me very sad. Buke and Gase were a duo, a band. They made really strange, oddball indie pop shit. Like I feel like if I had to compare it to anything, Deerhoof, if you're familiar with Deerhoof, I think it's sort of in that kind of world. I didn't really spend too much time listening to Buke and Gase. The curious thing about this duo, here they are, Buke, their names are not Buke and Gase. The reason they're called Buke and Gase is because they invented instruments and they named the instruments Buke and Gase. And there was an album in particular, General Dome, bro. General Dome is really good, dude. This is an extremely cool album. I totally forgot about this album. Like, it's a shame that it took them breaking up for me to think about Buke and Gase and be reminded of Buke and Gase. You know what? I'm just gonna bring it to the top of my thing. I'm gonna remove it and add it so that it's right there on my screen. So now I can see it and listen to it and rediscover, because I right now I can't remember how these songs sound. I got hiccup in the like songs though. That's gonna be there for a reason. Yeah, I remember Scholars came out. I think I remember seeing a Ryan Leith review for this. Yeah, it's a shame these guys are gone, man. Okay, so the reason they're broken up is because income factor, she's pregnant, there's a baby on the way. Streaming has made selling albums nearly impossible. Artists have to contend with AI. So there you go. This is sort of like an aftermath ripple effect, a result of just the commodification of music in the streaming world right here, man. Thank you, Buke and Gase, for all the music you've made, and it will be remembered and listened to and enjoyed for the rest of time, baby. Squarepusher's dropping a new album. I don't think I heard the last Squarepusher album, actually. The most recent one I remember listening to, it was the one with the sort of kind of 8-bit pixely cover art, I want to say. Yeah, this one, Be Up a Hello. I listened to this. I reviewed this on the channel, I think. It was pretty good. I liked it. But yeah, there was another one. It was this one, Dostro Time. I did not hear this. I think for a while it was only available on Bandcamp or something. I think I did hear it was pretty good. Squarepusher generally is kind of consistent. He's got some really great albums like Hard Normal Daddy, and Ultra Visitor is a huge favorite of mine. This album is pretty insane. Really pushed himself on this one. Squarepusher, he's one of the kind of, in my mind, like the big four on Warp Records, which is Boards of Canada, Aphex Twin, Orteka, and Squarepusher. To me, those are like the 4 titans of like kind of IDM, Warp Records shit, so he's like an OG, bro. He's like a real OG. And if you're not familiar with Squarepusher, I highly recommend you get put on game to Tom Jenkinson. There's an album called Hello Everywhere. That's a really good one. Oh, Just a Souvenir is dope as fuck. Oh man, I need to listen to Squarepusher some more, bro. Beep Street is, I'm so glad Beep Street is #1 because that's always been like my favorite Squarepusher song. I love that track. Is it like a recent thing with that song happening? Is it like a trend or something? Why is that #1? I didn't realize that was like a popular one. Fucking amazing. So we're gonna get some new Squarepusher music. The album is titled Kammerkonzert. I see these titles, I'm like, is bro like German or something? But no, he's British. He's just pretending. I'm just playing. Yeah, we got K1, K2, so there's like a K thing going on. Fucking IDM artists always be on some extra shit with their like titling, bro. Like look at Orteka, bro. They be calling their songs like 3 Deck 4 Q12 hyphen like freaking plus 30. Like that's the type of shit they be doing. So my electronic fans, do keep your eyes peeled. It comes out just over a month from now, April 10th. We will be getting a new Square Pusher album. We're also getting a new album from Honey Dijon. This is not her debut. Did I say it was her debut? I thought it was her debut. There's a lot of features on this thing. We got Green T-Pang, Rochelle Jordan twice. Mahalia's on here. Chloe from, I'm assuming that's Chloe from Chloe and Halle. You got loads of names on here, loads. So it's going to be sort of like a party album. I really don't know much about the solo music that she's made before. She's a UK neo-soul sorcerer. Oh no, she's not. It's Green T-Pang. Finally, we're also going to get a Gnarls Barkley album. And I say finally very literally here because this is apparently, reportedly, the final Gnarls Barkley, the final Gnarls Barkley album. Going back to Pitchfork. Here it is, Atlanta. First release in 18 years. So I mean, no one really thought they were going to drop again, I think. I don't know if was this on anyone's radar? It wasn't on my radar. I didn't hear any news about them like coming back. So I would have just assumed the last record was probably going to be their final record. Like this, they sort of had their moment. But no, here we are. They're coming back for one more go around and they're making it very clear we're not doing this again. This is the last one. We are done after this. There's a new song out now called Pictures. I've not heard it yet. Otherwise I would have fucking talked about it in this video probably. 13 songs on this record. There's your cover art right there. It's a peach planet. Looks like that Kareem Ali album. Quantum Blackness. That was it. Looks a bit like the game Sable. So today is Friday the 27th. What have we got to listen to today? What's out right now? I've been having the mic all the way over there this entire video. Let me move it right here so you can hear me nice and crisply, nice and clearly on some ASMR shit. We have the new Bruno Mars record. The new Bruno Mars record, which I can tell you right now, I can delete this Friday log and replace it with Bruno. I'm not going to say what I think about it yet. I'll save that for next week. I listened to it 2 times. First thing I did this morning was listen to Bruno Mars The Romantic, and I also listened to Mitski's, what the hell's it called? Not the new one. I know she has a new one out. This is the new Mitski album. That just came out today. I didn't listen to that though. I listened to The Land is Hospitable, and so are we. Anyway, as I was just saying, Bruno Mars has a new album out today. It's called The Romantic. It's a lean 9 tracks, 31 minutes, which is how Bruno likes to do it. He's been doing it like that since 24K Magic. That's 33 minutes, 9 tracks. Silk Sonic was 9 tracks, but then they added Love's Train to the track list. And yeah, like 30 minutes. So yeah, Bruno Mars, he likes to keep it, nice and simple. He respects your time, and he normally delivers pretty good stuff. He's on his throwback sort of wave still. This time he's going for like a 70s disco kind of thing. Every single song being a love song though. And there's some tunes on here. We'll get into it next week. Ultimately, I will say I do recommend giving it a try. It's not going to take up too much of your time as well. If you end up not really feeling it, he's still #1 in the world. That is fucking nuts, bro. Damn, that Appetapita song, that shit goes so hot. Nice. Piece of shit. 3.4 billion for Die With A Smile is actually out of control. How many songs in the billy, like in the billions, does this Bruno Mars have, bro? My guy has taken advantage of the street. What the hell even is this one? It Will Rain? 2011? I don't even know this song, bro. I'm not even kidding. I've never heard this in my life. Dead serious. I've never heard this. This is going to be one of those things where now that I've had this moment, I bet you I'm going to hear it everywhere. I'm going to hear it like all over the place now. Genuinely, this is the first time I'm hearing this song. It's like when he first broke onto the scene. 2010, he had the fucking Lazy song, bro. That song's relatable too, actually. The Lazy song. I've been there, man. Gorillaz dropped The Mountain. Gorillaz. Current era Gorillaz have been a little shaky, in my opinion. I don't know. It's not really been too consistently great, to be honest. There's been a few really good songs, but yeah, album-wise, I'm still gonna double down on my take that the only great Gorillaz album is Plastic Beach. I think Plastic Beach is really, really good. And yeah, Demon Days, the debut, Humans, the Now. I don't know. I wouldn't call any other album just front to back great. Demon Days obviously is the closest. There's a lot of good shit on there, but I wouldn't say it's a front to back great album. I think there's plenty of skips, plenty of unmemorable songs, and it's just a little bit clunky as far as a full body of work. Plastic Beach is just such a well executed concept. Musically, it's so singular. The language of it is really interesting and fun to comb through. The feature placements are just out of control good too. Just all around, this thing goes nuts. And by the way, speaking of features, yeah, this new Gorillaz, my lordy lord, every track's got 4 billion features. We got Sparks on here, Bobby Womack, Black Thought, Idols, the band Idols, Johnny Marr from the Smiths, bro, Most Def's on here is just like everywhere you look, dude. Bunch of really talented musicians. So hopefully this means they're going to come through with some good songs. That would be ideal, right? An hour long, so they're really swinging for it. It's called The Mountain. You got the characters on the mountain. They're on the summit. They are absolutely presenting this as like a big deal. The marketing push has been pretty huge for this. They announced the tour well in advance. With the merch right here, yeah, man. Like if you compare this album rollout to Cracker Island or the Now, I feel like The Mountain comparatively has been pretty hard to ignore, you know? So yeah, we'll be listening to that. We'll give it a go. I'm not going to go and expecting to be blown away because yeah, I thought Cracker Island, I thought the Song Machine project was kind of a mixed bag. Wasn't too bad. Again, they recently showed up on the fucking Don't Be Dumb. Of course they did. Of course they did. I really like this song actually. No A$AP Rocky feature on the Gorillaz album though. They didn't go tit for tat, unfortunately. Yeah, Cracker Island wasn't too bad. It was okay. I don't know. I'm not going to go in expecting fireworks. Maybe they really pull it off. I am getting vague, just aesthetically, like Plastic Beach energy. Like there's probably some kind of story or, you know, mission statement underpinning what's going on this record. A few smaller releases. We have DC the Don, The Rumors Are True EP, and Zora Jones EP, and then there's also the Bill Callahan album. I'm shouting this one out on this video strictly because my mother is a big Bill Callahan fan. My Days of 58, he's writing in his room. Look at this. He's got the transparent, he's in like a cabin or something. Bill Callahan is no stranger to making very introspective folk singer-songwriter music, and My Days of 58, he's thinking about time, maybe mortality is a point of thematic reference here. I don't know. I'll give it a go. I actually do kind of dig Bill Callahan. I thought this album was pretty fresh. Shepherd in a sheepskin vest. It's surprising how engaging and comfortable and easy to listen to it is for a 20-track, 1 hour long magnum opus. It's pretty good. And then we have Zora Jones. Zora Jones I need to highlight, and I'll also highlight DC the Don, which my friend Lamar tells me has got some vale-smith ass sounds on it, which is nice. Nice to know that I'm pioneering a little bit in the hip-hop scene, even if it is just just for an EP. We have a new Zora Jones project. This is Angel Crisis. This is huge. This is huge, bro. I've been waiting for new Zora Jones. I've been waiting for anything from the Fractal Fantasy guys for a hot minute. Where the heck is St. John Hawk, bro? I need St. John Hawk to drop fucking nowski. St. John Hawk hasn't done shit for ages, and it's really upsetting because his debut album is fucking awesome. But Zora Jones, her debut album is also incredibly good. I love this record. 32 minutes, 11 tracks. It is just some of the most batshit, nutso, wild electronic shit. Low Orbit Ion Cannon is absolutely nuts. Just hold on, listen to this shit, bro. You hearing this lead loop? Oh. Fucking crazy. If that shit sounded cool to you, yeah, listen to this album. It is fire as fuck. And Zora Jones is back. She's got some new tunes, intro track and 5 songs following it, 17 minutes of music. I will definitely be tapping in. And yeah, we have DC the Don, who I really dig. I really liked his Funeral album. Pretty creative, eclectic, colorful rapper right here. He's got some good shit, man. He's a rapper that on first glance, you know, you kind of write him off as like, okay, he's like probably on some sort of trap, pop rap shit. But when you dive in, he's got some surprises, man. A lot of interesting kind of strainy vocal performances. He sort of twists and bends his voice around really interestingly, and he taps into different corners of different genres. There's some like punky shit going on. So The Rumors Are True. Ugh, fucking this cover up, man. What the fuck is this? What is this cover? This cover art's fucking funny, bro. Like, how did we conceptualize this? I got an idea, bro. Guys, you're gonna lose it. Like this cover, I'm gonna do something nuts. Sit down for this one, which is ironic given what I'm about to tell you. I'm gonna stand on both of them, bro. And I'm not even gonna like give a shit. I'm just gonna do it. Bro, this fucking image is so funny. So there we go. That's it. That's our thing. That's our video. That's what I've been listening to, and that's what I'm about to be listening to. Please in the comments let me know what you've been listening to though. Have you been listening to George Clanton? Let me know. I'm wearing a shirt, so that would be funny if you were. If not, then it's like, you know, fine. Comments are there for a reason, dog. Let's populate that shit. Don't forget to subscribe for more music content. Leave a like as well while you're at it. Support the video, but most importantly, you just have a fucking great day, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. I'm about to go play Resident Evil 9. Oh my god.